It's Christy and I.
Tried to appropriately, but I just.
Because you think you're gonna. I'll set the shovel for you, and then we'll take the rest. I mean, I need to.
Oh, how are you? Fine. Good. How are you? What did he say today? Actually, they expected her anyway. How are you doing? Oh, hello, Earl. How are you? Fine.
Yes, thank you. My mom. Well, I just sent her a
Shovel today. We're making affirmative action progress. These two.
Great.
We're supposed
Frank
to.
Bracken's out of town.
Sure, let's start on.
Here, it's on the back.
I'm just trying to know what I'm supposed to do.
Yes, she's
Only have a 28-minute speed, so the rest of the class.
yeah, she's the first. She's in the first group. We're gonna have one turn before that. We're gonna have on the other hand, you barely even
Tell us to go over there.
Real service.
Are we ready to go?
Did you see the little cardinal sitting on Rosemary's desk?
Hey,
So that's too big. You guys get so they're so
Oh, are they like the ones that
There's a little male and a female.
that in?
Yeah, guys. They got me set for my birthday. So I've got a set cardinal star
there's no
now.
way you could ever.
But so I bought Rosemary's. So,
You've got a very large brand here for.
yeah, you do. So every time I go into this, she's selling something else new.
Yeah, so no, I say she's like rich. It's a major nerve. He said they may hurt forever. Probably not, but well, I wasn't in surgery. Well, I mean, not accidentally, but
Good afternoon. Is this working? I'm Charles Sappenfield. I'm Dean of the College of Architecture and Planning, and I welcome you to this wonderful occasion. Today we mark the end of the paper period of the building. That's this set of plans here, and you're welcome to look at those after the festivities here. We mark the end of the paper period, the programs and justifications and proposals and modifications, all that result in that set of construction documents. And now we begin the real thing. In a few minutes, we offer all of you the chance to review the plans and to dig some dirt with us. First, we want to hear a few words from a few people, and then I'll introduce just some of the many people who have a part in this building process. First to speak to us today is the president of Ball State University, Dr. Jerry Anderson. Dr. Anderson.
Thank you very much, Dean Sappenfield. Exactly 9 years and 10 months ago, on a Thursday, on the 10th of September, 1970, the university broke ground for a new College of Architecture and Planning building. Today we break ground for an addition which will triple the size. The college was established in 1965, the same year that Ball State Teachers College became Ball State University. The college's growth and change has paralleled the university's growth and change these 15 years. First-year students were accepted in September 1966, and the college was temporarily housed in the former Naval Reserve Armory. Several of the college's constituent groups had proposed earlier that the architect for the new building be chosen by competition open to architects registered and resident in the state of Indiana. A two-stage competition was initiated in July of 1967. The winning architect, Melvin D. Berkey of South Bend, was announced on 19 January 1968. The first building was occupied in March 1972. Since 1972, the college has increased its one program in architecture to a total of 3 undergraduate programs and 4 graduate programs in the areas of environmental design, architecture, landscape architecture, urban and regional planning, and historic preservation. Numbers of students, faculty, and staff have doubled. The college held its first classes outside the new building in 1973. By 1977, the college was housed in 7 different buildings, scattered a mile apart across the campus. The 1979 legislature approved a new building addition. Again, the university conducted a 2-stage competition to choose an landscape architect team. In 1979, the winner from a field of 39 entries was Krumlish, Sporletter, and Associates from South Bend. They had been finalists in the 1967 competition. The successful general contractor was Hagerman Construction Company, the firm which constructed the first stage building. Hagerman finished the first building early in March, and this building is expected to be completed before September of 1982. The College of Architecture and Planning competition of 1967 was a first for the state universities of Indiana, in a state which has known only few competitions, public or private. Several environmental design schools nationwide have chosen competitions for architect selection, but Ball State's college may be again the first to follow up with a second competition when an addition was proposed. The first competition discovered a young architect, 28 years old, whose designs for other buildings in Indiana won within a 4-year period 2 Indiana Society of Architects biennial awards, in addition to the subsequent ISA award to Ball State in 1972. Similar opportunities are presented in the second building to advance the state of the art of architecture and landscape architecture. We acknowledge significant debts to many, to the anonymous donor who supported both the 1967 and 1979 competitions, to the legislature and the Commission for Higher Education who funded our needs, to the Indiana professionals and those who added the effort of an entry to their continuing support for the college, to Charles Graves and the jury who devoted so much professional time, to Ball State personnel all across this campus, and to the faculty, staff, and the students of the college. The results of this achievement will bring great credit to the professions, to education, to state government, to the public, indeed to all of us. This is a proud and happy day for Ball State University.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. And now we would like to hear from the interim provost and vice president for instructional affairs, Dr. Rita Gardiot. Dr. Gardiot.
building for our campus represents two extremely significant achievements for educational programs at Ball State University. The first achievement is to unite the students and the faculty of the College of Architecture and Planning into one building so that they will be able to function in a closer, more efficient, more positive, and interactive environment. Secondly, the building will house the first solar education center in Indiana, a center which will be the focus for Ball State University's research and public education efforts in the area of energy. The Solar Center will be a truly intercollegiate program in the university, uniting expertise from all 5 colleges. It will welcome campus groups as well as groups from the general public, ranging from grade and high school students to adult community interest groups and corporate representatives. This building will be the first at Ball State University to utilize active aspects of solar energy. The solar collectors, which will be a part of the roof of the solar center. It will also utilize passive energy aspects, such as a sloped glass wall called the solar chimney. This building will be an innovative example, both in architecture and in energy utilization. It will enable Ball State University and Indiana to assume a true leadership role in educating students and the general public in environmental design and energy use and conservation.
Thank you, Dr. Guardiol. And now we would like to hear from the chairman of the Board of Trustees of Ball State University, Mr. Will Parker.
Thank you, Dean Sappenfield. Ladies and gentlemen, to most people, a groundbreaking ceremony for a new building is probably not a great, exciting event. In fact, I have never attended a groundbreaking when crowd control was a problem. But to me, the groundbreaking for a new academic facility is an exciting event. It signifies the actual physical beginning of new opportunities and new experiences for the student and for the teacher. While we today have great learning experiences taking place in facilities that are older than we like to think about, a new building enhances our opportunities. The design of the facility is exciting, and I'm particularly pleased with the emphasis the architects have placed on designing a building for students. I'm happy to represent the Board of Trustees here today as we embark upon another new adventure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. And now we would like to hear from the former chairman and current member of the Indiana Commission for Higher Education, incidentally a recent honorary degree recipient from Ball State University, Dr. Van Smith.
Thank you, Dean. Ladies and gentlemen, the formal approvals supporting this substantial capital commitment for a new College of Architecture and Planning building represent a display of both encouragement and genuine confidence in Ball State by Indiana and all of its citizens. It was 15 years ago that the General Assembly selected Ball State for the location of this College of Architecture and Planning. As I recall, in 1966, there were 189 applicants for the 120 positions in the entering class. Over the years, the entering class has remained at the 120 student size, but the number of applicants has increased to between 600 and 700 each of the last 4 years. A recognition indeed of a growing respect for the program. For several past years, perhaps several decades, publicly supported universities were physically expanding at a rapid and impressive rate to keep up with increasing enrollments. Those days seem to be behind us as we attempt to predict future campus enrollments. These future enrollment projections permit Indiana and its universities to give increased attention to program quality. This new building permits consolidation of the architectural academic programs in one location. It substantially improves the quality of the space utilized. It allows the university to abandon a portion of its most substandard space at the time of occupation of this new energy-efficient facility. Indeed, an improvement in quality of facilities for Ball State. A new architecture building on a campus traditionally noted for teachers training is further indication, if indeed any indication is needed, of Indiana's continued commitment to support a broad range of academic programs, thus assuring the development of a true university at Ball State. Such a broadening of academic programs and facilities is hopefully not viewed as competitive to the traditional college role, for it not only enhances the opportunities of the newer colleges, but it should lend vitality and prestige to the existing respected teachers' college programs. My personal association with the capable staff of Ball State leads me to be optimistic that the emerging challenge of utilizing academic facilities in a more innovative manner, conducive to serving students of a wider variety in both age and background, in both traditional and new programs, will certainly be met at Ball State in future years. On behalf of the Commission, congratulations to the trustees, the faculty, the administration, and the students as you begin construction of what obviously is going to be a superstructure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. And now I would like to make some introductions to remind us all of the significant involvement of many and the teamwork necessary in this building's progress. First, I'd like to introduce, you have already met Mr. Parker, who just spoke, and I would now like to introduce Miss Christy Swing, student member of the Board of Trustees. Christy, you might raise your hand. We're very happy to have the support that we have from the legislators in this area who are represented today by Hurley Goodall, Representative Hurley Goodall. We're also happy to see our professional society colleagues here today. Harold McGee, president of the Indiana chapter of the American Society of Landscape Architects. Harold? I'm not sure whether Wayne Smith made it who's president of the Indiana Society of Architects is here or not. He is not, and also the president of the Indiana chapter of the American Planning Association could not be here. The Campus Master Planning Committee recommends all buildings and plans on campus. And that committee is chaired by our campus planner, Mr. Maurice Mann. Maury? Representing our building committee today is its vice chairman, Professor Jack Wyman. Jack? Also on the building committee and representing departments at the college are Kenneth Carpenter, chairman of the Department of Architecture. Ken. And Francis Parker, interim chairman of the Department of Urban and Regional Planning. Francis. The chairman of the Department of Landscape Architecture is in St. Louis today and could not be with us. A most important part of this building, and a part which makes it unique in America and in American environmental design education, is the Solar Energy Center. The Energy Center has been spearheaded by Dr. Ronald Cosby. Ron? Also on the building committee representing the students are Jerry Noble from Architecture. Jerry? And Dan Ulrich from Landscape Architecture. Dan. The professional advisor for the competition was Chuck Graves, former dean of the School of Architecture at the University of Kentucky. He cannot be here today, but he sent this telegram. Congratulations to you and the university on groundbreaking. Can't remember last project that came in under the budget. So we're very proud that ours did. Probably the hardest job an architect could have is to serve as an architect for 40 architects, landscape architects, and planners. Our architects, Crumlish, Sporlita, and Associates of South Bend, seem so far to have made the test. I'd like to introduce Brian Crumlish and Donald Sporlita. There are some other members of the architects and landscape architects and engineering team, and I'd like for here today, and I'd like for them to raise a hand. There are about half dozen people around here, as a matter of fact. Finally, the firm which will take over after we do our shoveling today is Hagerman Construction Company of Fort Wayne. Representing them today is Mr. Mark Hagerman. The first person we'd like to roll up his sleeves, and he's already got them rolled up, and do a little shoveling, would be Eugene Hamilton, architect from Muncie, Indiana, who worked for many years for a school of architecture in Indiana, and who especially worked to have a school of architecture on the Ball State University campus. Could Gene Hamilton come here, and I'll even give him a There isn't a soft spot. Don't depend on it. There he goes. That's about it. On the spot. There you go. There. Well done. I'm going to terminate this as a shovel. That's fine. Thank you, James. And now we'd like to have 6 people up here to do some shoveling. Dr. Anderson, Dr. Guardiola, Mr. Parker, Mr. Smith, and Miss Swing.
We'll see who can do the best.
It's like post hole digging in the summer.
It's terrible. It's terrible. You'll be lucky if you do anything with this. Oh, they're already in the soil. Use what you've got. That's worse than your yard.
Alright, you need to dig more than that.
There you are.
I'm worried about environmentalists coming after me for digging up the soil.
And now we're taking another crowd. And now if we could have Mr. Wyman, Mr. Crumlish, Mr. Hagerman, Mr. Noble, Mr. Carpenter, Mr. Parker, Mr. Band.
You don't mind, I'll just play the bulldozer.
I'll give one. Well, you'll Here, you got it, Brian.
Yeah. Okay. This one, we got one.
One too many. Oh, yeah. Oh, do we need another one? Here's an extra one.
Like a good south spot. Where's a good south That is hard. Okay, they're going. There you are.
I did it. Mr. Hagerman says his bulldozers do it better. We really appreciate your coming today. Anyone who'd like to is happy to turn over a shovel here. Come ahead. Thank you very much for coming today. Please turn it over if you like. Thanks.
Me too.
Right. Better than me. It's a big day.
Now I gotta go and convince him not to renovate the library until I get.
Bonnie.
Okay, come on, Mike. Put some back into it.
We want to be sure to get Mary Fran and Ross.
Okay, all right, great. Well, and also the architect.
Great, pick up a shovel, Frank.
You gotta pick up a shovel.
No. I've got a bunch more coming, Jerry.
I'm defeated before I even heard.
Yeah.
Did you try?
You were completely off.
Yeah. Sorry you did.
Hey, we're getting the design.
We're ready. Dick. We got some out there. Dick.
Hey, how are you? Hey, I want to ask you something, both of you. Were you at the University of Kansas at Lawrence?
Yes.
I got a thanks to you. City Star. Appreciate your help there.
Okay, all together. When did it come? Hold on.
Right at the camera.
Okay, yeah.
Boy, thank goodness it had been raining. Be cooler.
Ray Nichols rolled off, I think.
What was the name?
Well, Ray Nichols.
Made Vice President.
No, he's the replacement for this fellow that we're talking about.
Who was that?
Well, for the kids.
He's the one I worked for.
Ron, I want to get Roger. Come on out here. I want to get you three guys.
Your microphone. Like that. It's easier No, other than almost everybody's been
I got these three guys.
We grew up with Brian in Illinois. Didn't we? They don't look like Sears Christmas. They won't let him on.
Are these?
Will they let you on?
5 o'clock.
Huh?
Where's your children?
Sally's not here. I'll get Bob.
Okay, I'll be up on the Oh, okay. Yeah.
That'll be right at 5.
Yeah. Oh,
You can? See, all I'm saying.
I thought you were long gone.
So I look.
okay, I'll be up in my office.
Sally's taking 4-H sewing this year, and she's at North South.
I have different feelings.
That was it.
I don't know what you said, I'm just seeing what you had.
Pardon me.
That's the way I feel. Yeah, I know it. Let's see. Well, that's right. I think they're all. Ron, did you get in a digging? Well, you need to. Is that right? Well, that's rumors.
You're the architect.
Well, like I said, we can
That's from the beginning.
Better take
Colic around.
Hey, that's good. Do that again. What, flip?
Here.
That's the Pennsylvania State.
Doesn't go any further.
I hear you're really into photography. Great.
I'm hiding from the camera. You know what? Back off.
Yeah, back off of that one. Anything you say may be held against you.
Somebody thought there was an error.
There you go.
Development time, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, you sorry, listen. Virginia? Yes, come on.
I was starting to get one, and then they broke the...
Everybody has to go in there.
Yeah.
It's way out of range.
Yeah, I know.
That's all right.
Have a picture with the shovel. They had all the trustees here. Who was the other one?
Yep. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3,
It's a good thing we got a rain. They wouldn't have a shovel.
Just lean on your shovel.
About 10 degrees cooler.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Keep that picture quiet.
Uh-huh.
I got a wonderful time with her. 45 minutes. My shoes.
We will. Let's all get together.
Don't forget to get us a new one, will you?
I want you to see it, and then I'll make some photocopies of the important parts. Yes, yes.
That concludes our broadcast for today. Goodbye.